Thank you for your introduction. I want to improve your eating habits. So the project that I'm going to present to you has been developed in the framework of a European project. And actually, if now I am at ARC, this project has been developed in Fribourg. So the challenge that we have here is a big one. So it's overweight and obesity. Maybe you already know it, but these two, overweight and obesity, are the fifth leading risk for global death. So it's quite something huge. Every year, something like 3 million people die for risks that are linked to obesity or overweight. But not everything is bad, because literature demonstrated us that we can do something. And this something is knowledge. If we provide knowledge to the user, we can improve their habits. So that's the postulate in which our project is based. The idea is to work at a specific time when the user can be somewhat influenced. So the idea is to work with teenagers, because teenagers, soon they will leave the cocoon and they will start taking decisions. They have to choose, I will go to McDonald's or I will go to, I don't know, some Italian restaurant. So at this point, we saw that we can do something. And what we have to do is to provide knowledge. So that's the goal. I will not talk a lot about the game that we have developed, but I think it's interesting to propose a little bit about the approach, the methodology that we used. And we decided to work in a participatory design approach, because actually we decided to work with teenagers, but teenagers are really hard to understand, at least for us. So the idea is, as we said before, to involve them in the study, to involve them from the beginning. So at this point, we developed an iterative approach. We have more than 2 years to work on this project, and we decided to have 3 phases. In the first one, we have a lot of knowledge that we can transfer, so we have to put it in one serious game. This serious game, we have to start from something very basic. So right from the beginning, involve the users. So we proposed them something that was at the beginning just a drawing on the paper. Later on, it was a first mock-up that was already interactive. And the idea is very simple. So we have a recipe, and the user are to guess which are the different properties inside this recipe. After that, there is also a little bit more a phase of game that is a little bit more about ability. I have to get the different ingredients. After that, we have to know the feedback. So we organized focus group, interviews, standardized questionnaire, and we collected feedback. So first surprise, they were interested. So it was already some positive point for us, because nutrition, we thought it was not that interesting for them. But we received also some other feedback that is also interesting. For example, all the graphics that we used, maybe is not so clear for them. It was clear for our expert in nutrition, but for them it was not so clear. And also we saw that the information that we transfer, it was still limited. They were not learning so much. So with this feedback, we move on the second phase. The second phase, it was more structured. So the second phase was already divided in 3 sub-phases. In each of these phases, we focus on one specific aspect of our application. The first one was acceptability, the second one, usability, and then the integrated system. Because this European project is not composed only of this serious game. It's composed for a lot or little intervention to change habits. Not only nutrition, also physical activity. So working on that, at every step, we involved students, so teenagers in particular. So from the first prototype, we moved on something that was more developed, but the idea was still the same. So we have a recipe, and the user to find which is the food that meets the same content. And that's also, if it is in the game, the values that are inside this application are real values. So what they can find also in the real world. More on that, we had also a part to transfer, to provide more knowledge. So in this case, we added also some quizzes to provide some more information. And also, we tried to work on a kind of metaphor. The idea is that the character that we have in the game become stronger, more the knowledge he has about food. And what to do is that also in the real world, more you become more knowledgeable about nutrition, and the stronger you can become in the future. So here you can acquire superpower. It's not the same in the real world, but that was the metaphor behind that. The third phase is the pilot study. I can't tell a lot about that because it's still ongoing. Actually, it's finished 2 weeks ago, but we are still collecting all the data. But the idea is that we have this study over actually 3 countries with more than actually 500 participants because we can count also the control groups. So we have in Italy, Spain, and UK, and over 6 months they have to use the whole Pegasus system. That includes also this mini game. And we will see also, they are using it for the first month, the first week, they are using it all the 6 months. What we will see is, at the beginning of the study, we provide them a questionnaire. At the end of the study, we'll propose another questionnaire, and we'll compare the knowledge. Is the game, a serious game, provided some knowledge to them? So, to conclude this part, this presentation, what I want to say today is that involve the students, the users in general. It's a very good approach because it can provide you really a way to communicate to them, to transfer some information to them. The message can pass, but it's something that is costly because you have to count not only the development of the products, you have to count that you have to meet them. For students, it was very difficult because they are in school, school agreed to collaborate, but okay, now we have exams, now our vacation, now it's not the good period because we have other activities. So that is something costly. And in Spain, it's not the same that in UK. In Italy, it's totally other things. So it's something that is complex. What I want to say that is participatory design is good, but it doesn't mean that after the game it will be a success. But I think it's a good step in the right direction. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. I have also a question, if I have heard you well, and I am a sociologist. You said that if we provide knowledge, we will improve the eating habits of persons, making them to go rather in an Italian restaurant than in McDonald's. Okay. But as you know, if you smoke, you have seen when you buy cigarettes that smoking kills. You know it. And smokers buy cigarettes. So how do you address lifestyles? Because this is the question in the adolescent, young people, norms and not in your norm of adults, in order to change this kind of norms.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's also because, so why we choose to work with teenagers. We want to act before they have to take decisions. So we provide knowledge before that in real life they have to choose for themselves where to go. So I think we cannot think that everyone will choose in a healthy restaurant, vegetarian or vegan, I don't know. But the idea is that now there are more knowledge. At least they will be responsible for their choice. And the society can say, okay, we provide them some basis to make the right choices.
Okay, thank you. Some questions? Yes?
Related to your question, so first of all, thank you very much. You focused on knowledge before and after your intervention. Why did you not focus on, or additionally, on other aspects such as motivation or eating habits? Or was it part of your survey? Because this would more directly assess behavior or other influencing factors.
You're right, but actually what I present today, it was a small part of this European project. The other part is about motivation, engagement, and so on.
So the question was longer.
Than the answer, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and have a last question?
When you will finish your research paper, will everyone be able to see the results or not?
Yes, it's a European project. Also, the software will be open source. So you can have everything.
Nice.
Okay, thank you very much. This is for you. Thank you. And now we have the presentation of DATAC from Julien Schenker de la Radio-Télévision Suisse. I give you the floor.